this is Caitlin Rust, and this is my Assure model lesson plan for the copyright lesson in Module 9 for my instructor. The first A is Analyze Learners. I've decided that this is a group of grade 6 kids, and though it said that they are comfortable being online, they need the scaffolding of new content because this is something that is new, and it may not have been encouraged before. Real-life scenarios would then give engagement, as would the consequences. The individual data lets them see real-time feedback, which is always good, and it has the competition for a group activity and collaboration. The second part is because, like I said, these learners are new to copyright rules and guidelines, they're going to need that language to engage the content, because if they don't know what the words mean, you have to start from the building blocks at the very beginning. The attitude is disengaged based on relevance and why do I need this, which is very common in this age range in 6th grade. So giving it that relevance and the real life scenarios will help encourage engagement. I also plan to vary the type of instruction and activities to allow for the various types of learners, specifically the verbal linguistic, logical, mathematical, and visual and spatial. You have the PowerPoint, the quizzes, and the created image that incorporate all of those different types of learners. The first S is State Standards and Objectives. So this is the learner will identify and distinguish components of copyright guidelines, fair use, and citations by completing a quiz with an accuracy of 80% or higher. And when given the APA formula for a Creative Commons image, create an APA-style citation for an image of their choice on a class Google slideshow. The second S is Select Strategies and Resources. The 3 strategies and the resources that we'll be using are that PowerPoint, the quizzes, and the Creative Commons creation of the image. The PowerPoint will introduce the vocabulary, which allows for the various levels of prior knowledge to start at a level playing field, and the examples and scenarios for interest and real-life engagement. The quizzes has an accuracy set for 80%, which if they get higher than that, they don't need to do the redemption questions, but those redemption questions let them see the ones that they get wrong and have a second chance at them. The data is saved for later use for step 6, which is the evaluate and revise, but the students, again, receive that real-time feedback, and they can correct their own misconceptions. The gamifying of the instruction encourages participation and engagement without repetition for those students that have already mastered the content. They don't need to redo it if they already got it the first time, but it lets those kids fill in their own blanks. And then the Creative Commons creation, the student choice on the visuals to practice their APA format, using the provided resources, but also engaging in technology and collaboration that they may not have used before. The U stands for Utilize Resources. This is when you're actually using those resources. So the PowerPoint is what you start off with. That's specific for the visual and auditory. They get to hear it, they get to see it. The quizzes is logical and mathematical, and then the Google image search is more for the spatial awareness and spatial visual learners. They can create something on their own and play with it. The R stands for Required Learner Participation. This is when they're actually doing their assignment, the practicing on those vocabulary questions. They get to have the specific scenarios and identifications of appropriate citations when given that APA formula. There's a link on the page that gives examples, and in the PowerPoint there are a specific amount of scenarios that lets them see how it could be incorporated, and that's a higher level thinking as opposed to just is this true or false, so on and so forth. Those higher order thinking skills, they also get to create their own without the help of a citation generator. That kind of does some of the work for them, but they need to be masters before they can have those almost cheat sheets. And then they get to collaborate for modeling accurate APA citations, and they get to see and experience what their friends find interesting. The E is evaluate and revise. The quizzes, like I said, collects the data and you can see which questions they got wrong and which questions they got right. And the rubric on the following slide allows for the grade, the overall grade, to be seen of which questions they got right and which ones they got wrong, so which one would later need to be retaught. This also gives the potential for student experts, where how those students that got it right the first time, where they found the right answer, if they had something that they remembered it with, they can share that. The accuracy of the APA citation on the image, the teacher can model the correct citation, we edit the mistakes, we have them go in and fix them. The overall rubric is a combined 100%, which is here. The quizzes has 20 questions overall, so it's a very, very simple assignment. Each of those 20 questions, it's broken down into 4 categories. There's 5 questions per category. There's 5 vocab questions, 5 fair use questions, 5 citation questions, and then 5 scenarios, where on the data sheet that is given to the teacher, it shows which questions they got right and which question they got wrong. So if they got all 5 of the vocab questions, they'd get all 20 points, so on and so forth. The redemption questions would give them up to half of the points. So if they got none of the questions right, they could get up to 40 points back. So it's half the points that they would be missing. The Creative Commons image is worth 20 points overall, and that has 5 specific categories that they either get the points or they do not. And so we know exactly what they need to go back in and correct. Thank you.